Hello everyone, welcome back to another exciting video from Marvelous Anime. The 80s and 90s were a golden age for anime, especially when it came to space-themed stories. Back then, creators really leaned into the idea of space as an endless frontier, giving us laser shootouts, interstellar battles, and outlaws riding through the stars like cosmic cowboys. That's why, in this video, we're going to take a look at 11 classic space western animes that define the whole laser saddle legend. Saddle up, partner, because we're ready to hit hyperspace, but before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we do have a really quick request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to the channel. It's a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Cowboy Bebop, 1998. Cowboy Bebop throws you into the year 2071. The Earth has been trashed after a hyperspace accident. Most people live on planets and moons across the solar system. The Intersolar System Police hires bounty hunters to apprehend criminals for cash rewards. Spike Spiegel and his partner Jet Black run jobs from their spaceship, the Bebop. Spike used to work for a crime syndicate, and Jet quit the police after losing faith in the law. They pick up Faye Valentine, a con artist with no memories, Ed, a quirky hacker kid, and Ein, a dog with hidden talents. Each episode, the crew hunts a new target. They chase drug smugglers, hackers, and runaway thieves. They mess up more jobs than they complete. They lose cash, crash ships, and cross powerful people. Jet tackles corruption from his old cop days as their past catches up to them. Faye unravels her lost history, waking from decades of sleep. Ed hacks into government systems trying to find her father, and Spike faces his old partner, Vicious, who wants to control their syndicate. Julia, Spike's long-lost love, gets dragged into the fight, and it builds up to a face-off between Spike and Vicious. Syndicate henchmen close in. Julia is killed by crossfire. Spike storms the building, fights Vicious, and wins. He walks out injured and collapses, leaving his fate open to interpretation. The Bebop breaks apart, and the crew goes their separate ways. Every story comes back around to flawed people on the frontier chasing hope and running from regret. Cowboy Bebop fuses the wild spirit of westerns with futuristic technology. You get dusty bars, but with neon signs, shootouts on Martian streets, and a band of loners who only share a ship because there's no one else left. Trigun, 1998. Trigun is set on No Man's Land, a harsh desert planet where law is thin and survival is tough. Vash the Stampede roams this frontier with a massive bounty on his head. He's known as the humanoid typhoon because towns crumble wherever he goes. Bounty hunters hunt him to claim the $60 billion double-dollar reward. Vash avoids killing. He relies on clever tricks and tries to protect lives. Meryl Streif and Millie Thompson, who are insurance agents, follow Vash to reduce damage caused during his escape. They want to limit the cost of the chaos he unintentionally causes. Vash meets Nicholas D. Wolfwood, a traveling priest with a large cross-shaped gun. Together, they face gangs, assassins, and threats set by Vash's enemies. Vash's past slowly comes to light. He and his twin brother Knives had been brought up on a spaceship fleeing the Earth when it was destroyed. Knives turned hostile, seeking to destroy humanity. He now hunts his brother to stop him. Knives' followers, the Gung Ho Guns, and their leader, Legato Blue Summers, pursue Vash to break his spirit. Wolfwood, once one of those followers, switches sides. This leads to a confrontation in which Vash confronts Knives and his men. Wolfwood is killed in the process of saving Vash. In the end, Vash stops Knives' plan to destroy life on the planet. Afterward, Vash continues traveling the lawless lands with Meryl and Millie. The series combines Wild West outlaw themes with sci-fi technology and empty planets. It shows survival and fights in a world with no rules. The 26 episodes deliver action and story driven by a man who chooses mercy in a violent world. Outlaw Star. Gene Starwind runs a small business with his young partner, Jim Hawking. When Hilda, a mysterious woman, hires them as bodyguards, a fight breaks out with the K-Pirates. Hilda dies, but Gene and Jim end up with an advanced spaceship called the Outlaw Star and a bio-android named Melfina. The ship's real purpose is to find the Galactic Ley Line, which is a rumored place with treasure and power. The crew grows with the contract killer Suzuka and alien catgirl Aisha Clan joining in. They take on jobs to pay for their ship and face many dangers. Bounty hunters Ronald and Harry McDougal keep chasing them, linked to Gene's father's death. Harry tries to connect with Melfina, who starts to care for Gene. Others want the ley line too. Scientist Nguyen Khan seeks total knowledge. Assassin Lord Hazanko leads a group called the Anten 7, aiming for ultimate power. Gene and his crew fight to stay ahead. The conflict ends on the ley line itself, where Ron escapes with help, Harry dies protecting Melfina, and Khan becomes part of the ley line as Data. Jean tells Melfina he loves her and frees her from the ley line. Hazanko is defeated, and after the fight settles, the group splits but reunites to continue their journey. Outlaw Star is a blend of humor, action, and adventure in a space western environment. It's a story of survival in the rough end of space and a crew of misfits who are motivated by hope and loyalty. The series itself is a hallmark of space western anime of the late 90s, a mix of the gritty spirit of traditional westerns and the mystery of sci-fi that still feels new. Space Adventure Cobra, 1982. Space Adventure Cobra mixes outlaws, bounty hunters, and wild frontiers with sci-fi tech like cybernetic arms and space travel. It tells a story of survival and sacrifice set in a vast universe. This anime helped define 80s laser saddle legends. It starts with bounty hunter Jane Flowers killing a creature and taking its head. Cobra, a legendary space pirate with a weapon called the Psycho Gun in his left arm, follows Jane. She doubts he is really Cobra, who is said to have died 2 years earlier. When the creature's head attacks them in Jane's home, they kill it, but Jane warns that the Pirate Guild is behind the attack. The Guild's hit squad chases them, and Cobra reveals his Psycho Gun to fight off their enemies. Jane says she needs Cobra's help to rescue her sister Catherine from prison on the planet Cyto. Cobra goes to Cyto, fights off the guards, and finds Catherine. He's captured and frozen by Crystal Bowie, Cobra's enemy. Jane is tricked and killed by Catherine, who is sided with Bowie. Cobra escapes the freezing prison thanks to his will and takes Jane's body. Lady Armoroid arrives to rescue him from Bowie's attack. Cobra fires Jane's body into space as requested by Professor Toporo. He then searches for Jane's other sister, Dominique, and the Snow Gorillas, rebels fighting the Pirate Guild. Dominique explains the guild wants to control Myris, a man-made star, to destroy the 7th galaxy. Bowie kills Dominique and the rebels' leader, Sandra. Dominique dies asking Cobra to kill Catherine to stop the guild. Cobra fights Bowie on Myris, kills him, and frees Catherine, who sacrifices herself to steer the star into the sun. Cobra leaves, alone once more. Captain Harlock, Arcadia of My Youth, 1982. Captain Harlock, Arcadia of My Youth begins with Harlock flying over the Owen Stanley Mountains in New Guinea. He risks running out of fuel to cross the dangerous range. Fast forward to the late 30th century, and Earth is occupied by alien invaders, the Illumidus, and their allies, the Tokargans. Harlock returns home in his ship, Death Shadow, and searches for his lover, Maya, who spreads hope through pirate radio as the voice of free Arcadia. Harlock also encounters a man named Toshiro, who has a mysterious relation to him. Flashbacks reveal their ancestors' friendship during World War II. Harlock lost an eye protecting Toshiro during the war. In the future, Harlock and Toshiro survive the occupation. Toshiro helps Pirate Queen Emeraldus fix her ship. Harlock finds Maya but is shot and loses an eye. Maya warns him to leave for her safety. Together with Emeraldus and Toshiro, they plan to fight the occupation. The Tokargans want to steal Emeraldus' ship to rebel against their oppressors, but Toshiro reveals his hidden ship, the Arcadia, named after the ancient friendship between their ancestors. The rebellion begins. Maya is wounded, but the underground hears a pirate flag raised on the Arcadia. The Tokargans sacrifice themselves to protect the ship from deadly space flames. Maya dies from gunfire. Harlock defeats the occupation commander, but Earth's leader declares Harlock and Emeraldus outlaws. A new crew sets out to the stars and is ready to fight to gain freedom. The tale is full of loss, honor, and fighting to gain freedom. It poses the question of what it's like to live proudly in a lost world. The mood is deep and reflective, fitting the quote from Goethe's Italian Journey. At the end of their lives, all men look back and think that their youth was Arcadia. Galaxy Express 39, 1979. Galaxy Express 39 narrates the story of a poor boy called Tetsuro Hoshino who resides in a city governed by machine men. He fantasizes about having a mechanical body to live as an eternal being. These bodies are expensive and only given away for free on the last stop of the Galaxy Express 39. A space train traveling to the distant Andromeda galaxy. Tetsuro and his mother try to earn enough money for tickets but are attacked by Count Mecha, a hunter of humans. Tetsuro's mother dies, telling him to seek the Galaxy Express. After nearly dying in the cold, Tetsuro is saved by Maytel, a mysterious woman who looks like his late mother. She gives him a free ticket to the train when she goes with him. They travel on the train together, and they pass through numerous worlds. On his journey, Tetsuro learns that a machine body cannot assure joy and freedom. most machine people sorrowfully miss their humanity. The planet Promethium is the last destination where Tetsuro finds out the dark secret of the machine empire. The souls of people are in bondage, and energies are utilized to fuel the empire. Maytel turns out to be the daughter of the wicked queen Promethium. Tetsuro is betrayed and yet hopes that he has a better future. He battles the empire with the assistance of Maytel. Tetsuro is left at the mercy of the unending hells of immortality, and the future of the galaxy remains unknown. The tale concludes that Tetsuro and Maytel have gone further, seeking meaning in the stars. In 1979, a film adaptation retold the story's origin. The 1981 sequel film, Adieu Galaxy Express 39, continues the story with an older Tetsuro fighting the growing machine empire. A third film, Eternal Fantasy from 1998, serves as a bridge to Matsumoto's other series like The Galaxy Railways. Several OVAs and spin-offs, such as Maytel Legend and Space Symphony Maytel, explore backstories and expand the universe. The manga was rebooted in 2018 for a new generation. Galaxy Express 39 is a classic that's a mix of space adventure, philosophy, and human emotion. Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs. 1987. Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs takes place in the future, where humans have colonized many planets. These new worlds are defended by a military unit known as the Cavalry Command. The Star Sheriffs are special agents of the fight against the Outriders, the alien beings of the other dimension. The Outriders raid the colonies to steal their resources and abduct humans. The spacecraft, which is capable of becoming a giant robot, is called Star Sheriff's pilot Ramrod. Saber Rider is the leader of the team who's skilled with his sword and strategy skills. The hot-headed pilot, Fireball, drives Ramrod and manages its weapons. Colt is the sharpshooter and pilot for solo missions. April Eagle is the engineer and controls navigation. Throughout the series, the sheriffs face Outrider attacks and betrayals. Jesse Blue turns traitor and joins the Outriders out of jealousy. The team battles giant robots and carries out risky missions to protect humanity's frontier. Key moments are the battles with the Outrider League Nemesis and clashes with Jesse Blue. Ramrod becomes a fighter against the renegade units. The sheriffs are dependent on teamwork, talent, and advanced technology to survive. Their goal is to maintain peace and safety in the wild, lawless frontier worlds that have been scattered all over space. They struggle to protect the human colonies against the superior alien power. The story combines action, space battles, and character drama, as the transformations and shootouts bring to mind the classic Western shootouts. Starship Troopers, Uchu no Senshi, 1988. Johnny Rico is a high school student who decides to join the military after learning that his classmate, Carmencita, plans to enlist. He's encouraged by his friend Carl and knows that the Earth Federation is at war with an alien species. Rico starts training despite objections from his parents. He faces harsh discipline during basic training. Some recruits are kicked out. Rico struggles with orders and suffers personal loss when his mother dies. He advances to become a platoon leader and faces real combat for the first time. Many of his comrades are killed, but he survives and earns recognition. Rico and Carmencita meet again, but there's tension between soldiers and civilians and rivalry between military branches. Carmencita's ship is destroyed in battle and she's presumed dead. Rico fights in a major assault on the alien homeworld, Kurendatsu. He makes more enemies and understands that the enemy is also struggling to survive. The war is brutal and costly. Towards the end, Rico discovers Carmencita alive and recovering in a military hospital. He confesses his love to her after suppressing it. The novel reveals the pains of training, the savagery of war, and the maturation of a young man in confrontation with an alien enemy. It's in the wake of personal losses and struggles that the ugly reality of frontline combat. Irresponsible Captain Tylor, 1993. In a futuristic world, Tylor is a carefree and seemingly aimless young man with incredible luck. He joins the United Planets Space Force hoping for an easy life. By accident, he resolves a hostage crisis and saves a retired admiral, earning command over a beat-up destroyer, Soyokaze. Despite the ship's weaknesses, Tylor uses his luck and unconventional style to defeat enemy patrols. The Admiralty, jealous and suspicious, tries to kill him by tricking the enemy with a fake fleet device on his ship, but the plan backfires. The Soyokaze is sent to a demotion sector where Tylor meets the ghost of the former captain. After the admiral responsible for the captain's fate sees this, Tylor's demotion is cancelled. Tylor is later captured by the enemy Ralgons and sentenced to die, but he charmingly spends time with the young Empress Azalin, who spares his life and implants a control chip in his brain. Tylor's crew escapes imprisonment and rescues him. During the battle, Tylor saves Azalin from a bomb attempt by her treacherous prime minister. Hurt in the battle, he recovers with Azalin's help, and she returns to her people. Going back to the human fleet, Tylor is declared a traitor, but manages to convince his superiors that he can make the war peaceful. There comes a tense standoff, after which Tylor eventually offers to resign, handing over the command to his first officer. The last episode is set on their old ship, where the crew is getting back into space, and their adventures continue. The Wonderful Galaxy of Oz, 1992. The Wonderful Galaxy of Oz is an anime series that aired in 1992 and 93. It reimagines L. Frank Baum's classic story in a futuristic space setting. The year is 2060. 8-year-old Dorothy and her genetically enhanced dog, Tok Tok, are swept away from their home planet called New Kansas. They arrive in the Galaxy of Oz. This galaxy was once ruled by an evil witch named Gloomhilda. She was driven out by Dr. Oz, a famous scientist. Now, Gloomhilda wants to reclaim her empire. She builds a large army on the edge of the galaxy. An attack from Gloomhilda is stopped when Dorothy unexpectedly arrives. Dr. Oz knows Gloomhilda will come once more. He plans to use 3 magical crystals. The first is the Crystal of Love, the second is the Crystal of Wisdom, and the third and final crystal is that of Courage. These crystals were lost long ago, but are key to defeating Gloomhilda. Dorothy, Dr. Oz, and a group of heroes set out to find the crystals. They want to rescue the galaxy from evil. They encounter numerous hazards along the way, and they encounter friends and enemies. In search of the crystals, they explore various planets, and the series combines the traditional aspects of the original Oz tale with a fresh sci-fi adventure. Dorothy becomes a lost girl and a courageous leader. The war between good and evil cuts across space, and the pursuit of the magic crystals leads the story to an epic ending. It tells the story of Daisuke Ito, who is a cyber physician who scavenges parts from a giant dump called the Zalem Heap. He finds the remains of a female cyborg who's still alive. Ito repairs her and gives her a new cyborg body. She's named Gally. Gally meets a boy named Yugo. He works for Ito. Gally takes an interest in Yugo and sticks around. One night, she experiences the horrors of their world firsthand when criminals assault a woman. Gally fights and defeats them, demonstrating that she's strong and skilled. Ito explains to Gally that she's a bounty hunter, a fighter of criminals in the city. Gally is eager to join. She begins to collect bounties and train in fighting. She faces a rival named Grukika. They fight violently in an arena, and Gally wins. Meanwhile, Yugo tries to leave the city to reach the floating city of Zalem. He pays people to help him, but faces danger. He's hunted by other human warriors like Zapan and Gime. Gime kills Yugo, but Ito manages to save his brain and transplant it into a new body. Yugo resumes his dream to reach Zalem, but is mortally wounded by traps on the way. Gally attempts to rescue him, but he dies. Sadly, Ito and Gally ship the remains of Yugo to Zalem. The novel deals with themes like identity, survival, and hope in a cruel world. Gally fights for a better future, being unable to cope with her past and purpose. Marvelous verdict! The 80s and 90s brought a unique blend of space and Western themes to anime. These shows crafted stories about frontier life in distant galaxies with outlaw heroes, high-tech weaponry, and unknown worlds full of risks. The 11 space Western classics we covered laid the groundwork for this genre, mixing rough justice with futuristic adventure. These animes give us unforgettable characters and settings. They show us what it means to be a lone rider in endless space. Which of these legends left the biggest impression on you? Let us know in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Otherwise, until next time, stay curious and stay marvelous.